Welcome back to the Actors Room, everyone. Here we are, episode number 45, and that is pretty cool. Here we are, 45 in, and I just realized that we're about a year into this podcast. I started in August. So we're approaching 1 year. Yeah, so I am here with my brother Dave.
Hey.
And we're going to talk about this week a little different, something that we don't usually do. It's the first time we're doing it. Dave mentioned that it would be a good idea to go ahead and highlight our best supporting actors and actresses, not only in drama, but in comedy as well. And we're going to kick it off with comedy. And we're going to do it like a countdown, right? And Dave just explained to me that would be the way to go, right?
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't figure that out when we're doing like the top. So far we have like 20 of the best comedic and dramatic roles.
Right.
And a supporting role, minor role.
Yeah.
Some of these are cameos.
And the Alec Baldwin, he's going to be one of ours. And just a little sneak peek.
Don't
I just
ruin it.
revealed it. Dave's going to kill me in this episode.
Gee, I wonder which one that is.
Yeah, but you have to guess which number he is. But yeah, I looked at his, and he's kind of a cameo.
Yeah, that's a cameo.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I would consider him, like, if he got nominated, that would be a supporting role, and he would be nominated for a supporting role. So that makes sense.
We have someone on our list that is pretty much a cameo that was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
And who's that?
We'll have to get to
Oh, Dave's good, see? He's not fucking around in this episode. He's taking it very seriously. So am I, because these actors and actresses, they bring something to the table, and you're like, wow. And it makes the movie that much better. You have your lead actors, and they're doing what they're doing. But then again, you take a look at those films you really love, and you go, my God, that one character was so good, and he made that movie that much better. So here we go. Episode number 45, and we're going to do a countdown of the top 20 best actors and actresses in the supporting category. So here we are. We're going to start off with comedy. And who is going to be on our list, number 20?
Number 20 is from a movie in 1980.
1980.
Called 9 to 5.
You know, it was really funny, too, is I'll yearn to watch this movie sometimes just because it came out in the 80s, and we watched movies when we were kids. This was a staple in our household.
Yeah, it was.
It was. And I was a real young kid, and they have some profanity in this movie. And I remember I was in the living room, and our dog Smokey, was being a complete dick or something like that, and just acting up. And I said something like, "Kill the bastard." And they say that in the movie, bastard. And Mom was like, "What? What did you just say?" And I was young at the time. I didn't know what bastard meant. I thought it was funny. And this movie touches on the comedic aspect of office work.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it just does. And Lily Tomlin is just fantastic.
And she starts our list, Lily Tomlin, in 9 to 5.
9 to 5, number 20. And do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about Lily Tomlin's performance?
Well, yeah, she's kind of like the ringleader of the whole scheme.
Yeah, she really is.
With Dolly Parton.
Yes.
And Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda,
I would have to say, is like the lead.
I think it is.
It's based around her. She starts new in this office.
Yeah.
And Dabney Coleman is the boss.
Dabney Coleman.
And if you're talking in the 80s, if there was a producer who's like, I need an asshole for this role.
Yeah.
Dabney Coleman was probably top of the list of who
I
they
would
wanted.
have to say you're right. In the 80s,
he was so good at being an asshole, and they tried to make they tried to take him down pretty much.
He was a dick. He was a dick boss.
Yeah, he was a dick boss.
He was chauvinist. Yeah, he was a bigot. And they all got together, smoked some weed, Wowie weed. And they were just talking about how they wanted to take him down.
And they do.
And they do.
It's great. I mean, and Lily Tomlin is fucking hilarious and so many things that she's done.
And she is a very a good actress. I think people don't realize how good she is. They kind of overlook it because she's so natural, I think.
Yeah.
And she really is.
And that's another thing I want to bring up with this list of some of the performances. Some of these are actors that are really well established, and some of them are not. Some of them, I never even heard of some of these people. Just remember their performance, but there's a very natural, like, they're just very believable.
Yeah.
And that's That's the best part.
Yeah, and I think bringing up Lily Tomlin to kick it off is a good example of that. So she's number 20. We're going to move on to 19. And this actor, when he did this movie Swingers, Vince Vaughn in Swingers is so natural. You know why?
Your money, baby.
Your money, baby. You know why it's so natural? Is because that character was pretty much based on him. And I have a hard time pronouncing this actor slash director slash writer's last name. John
Favre.
It's
Favre?
Favre? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's French. It has to be.
He's super talented, though.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's writer, director, and actor, and he excels in all of them.
He really does. And the first time I saw him was in Rudy. He was a big guy.
Yeah, he throughout his career, he's really kind of gained weight, loses weight.
Yeah, he does.
He's like the Oprah of white dudes. But
he has a little trouble with his weight
he
sometimes. But super talented.
He wrote this movie loosely based on his experience when he moved out to LA.
Yes.
He had broken up with a girlfriend of like 4 years or something, maybe even longer. But Vince Vaughn, they were friends. He wrote it with Vince Vaughn in mind.
Yeah.
And a lot of the dialogue and conversations that he would have with Vince Vaughn were part of the movie.
They were.
His bear monologue.
I have that down.
Yeah,
That's the best part of the movie.
That was actually almost word for word
what he told him.
Conversation he had with Vince Vaughn.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
That there's that little bunny in the corner. She's just a little bunny. And she's scared, and you have these claws. He's put his hands up like these claws. You're just gonna. You're so money. You don't even know it.
And that friend who's always like just mimicking what Vaughn is saying. He's like, yeah,
I love that guy.
Your money, baby. Your money.
Your money. Oh god! And there's a scene where they're playing the hockey game in the Sega Genesis. We played that game. We had that game where you could like beat on their player and he would bleed. Yeah. And the doorbell rings and this delivery guy and they're like, go get the door. So he gets the door and they open the door and it's the delivery guy and Vince Vaughn's like, we're gonna fuck with him. Hold on just a second. And they're in the other room and they're like, is he clean? Is he brown? It's so wrong, but so funny. One of my favorite parts of the movie.
Politically incorrect.
Yeah. Is he cute? Yep. Make sure he takes off his shoes. So yeah, that's number 19, Vince Vaughn in Swingers. A very good movie as well. It's independent film, and it was done great. Heather Graham makes an appearance in that movie. She's gorgeous.
That's right. Probably one of her first appearances, right?
Well, no, she's been acting for a while actually. But
okay, this was in '96.
Yeah, she had done stuff when she was a kid.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think anything off the top of my head I would like to mention, but she's been in the business for a while.
All right.
So number 19 was Vince Vaughn. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, number 18, Dave, and we want to go ahead and kick off this character. What was that?
I have a clip of this.
Do you want to do a clip of Jay?
I do.
Okay, now this is a very unknown actor, but I want to go ahead and point this out. He's not only an actor, but he's a writer. He wrote The Great Muppet Caper. He did all the Muppet movies.
He did.
He wrote them.
I did not know that.
I think I have in here, he also wrote for The Carol Burnett Show.
Okay.
The Bob Newhart Show. And he also wrote Short Circuit.
No
Believe
shit.
That? This guy. Okay. Now, do you have a clip of this guy? His name is Jay Tarsis.
Yes.
Okay.
And if anyone who's a huge fan of his...
Which
Not
is
sure how many there are.
I don't know, but
if you've seen this movie, you definitely know this line.
Let me give you a little advice. There's 3 rules that I live by. Never get less than 12 hours sleep. Never play cards with a guy who's got the same first name as a city. And never go near a lady who's got a tattoo of a dagger on her body. Now you stick with that. Everything else is cream cheese. Great game there, Scotty.
Now, this is the coach in the movie Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox.
Oh, God,
I hope that turned out okay.
I think it did. And if it didn't, it'll be fine. Hopefully I don't have to cut it out.
Yeah, and if you do...
Yeah, we do. But that scene, and he has a couple of scenes in that movie that are just priceless. I'm sure most of you have seen Teen Wolf. Michael J. Fox hated the movie. He's ashamed that he did it, but I'm not. I love it. Dave was a little afraid of it when he was a kid. When he turns into the wolf. Dave was like 5.
That scared the shit out of me. You're talking Alex B. Keaton. We watch that show all the time. You're talking Back to the Future. And all of a sudden, he started changing in that bathroom.
Oh, God, yeah.
It reminded me of, it was the same kind of special effects as Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Oh, that was another one you were afraid of.
Which scarred the shit out of me.
It really did. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But
And I didn't like it. I was scared, man.
But Teen Wolf has a couple of really cool characters. Not only Jay Tarsis, and what his name he was the coach, and I forget his name.
Coach
I wrote it.
Finstock.
Okay, and he's talking with Michael J. Fox's character, and Michael J. Fox comes into this little office, in the gym. He's like, I want to talk to you about a problem I'm having. He goes. So you can see I'm a very busy man here. He's got like a thing of chicken. He's like, "You want a leg or a wing or something?" Right. He goes, "That's not necessary, coach." And the way he says the fact that that Michael J. Fox's character has got it pretty much together. There's nothing to worry about. And like, I should be coming to you for money because you have a job. He was talking about the IRS is down his back. I mean, it was just. There's something about that character though, right? It was perfectly cast. Right?
It was well written, but it was also like how this guy didn't really end up doing even more after this,
right?
And appearing in more. Because I'll be honest, I when I looked at his IMDb, there wasn't much. He did some like other sitcoms maybe.
Yeah.
But he fucking nails this role and doesn't get anything else, and it's just kind of shocking.
Yeah, definitely a role to take note of. Recognize the fact that the coach is just amazing in Teen Wolf. So that was what, number 18?
That was 18.
All right, man. We'll move on to 17. And we're going to go ahead and put 17 with John Turturro in The Big Lebowski when he played Jesus.
Yeah, or Jesus. Or
I think it was Jesus. He called himself Jesus.
Okay.
And he is off his fucking rocker, this guy. Not a lot of screen time.
2 scenes.
2 scenes. But both scenes are fucking amazing. He's all over the place with this guy.
He was hoping you would have a bigger role.
Okay.
And the Coen brothers were like, well, we'll let you improv.
Okay.
A lot. And a lot of it was improv.
That's so good.
And you'll find a pattern in this list. A lot of these roles are very much improv.
I think you're right.
Some of the best moments is, the dance he did.
Yeah, I mean, I have down that bowling is a religious experience for this guy, but it is also a sexual experience when you see him lick the bowling ball.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sick, but really funny. And he says, "Don't fucks with the Jesus." That's what he says. And I love the way John Goodman looks at him. Like, he fucking hates this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then throughout, like, him talking, he kind of just goes, he's just a fucking moron, that guy. He's losing it. He's just an idiot. And, just a great role for John. He kind of does that with his acting.
He's solid.
Oh, he is solid.
So good in everything he does.
He's been around for a long time and has given some great performances. And this is just one of them in a supporting role. And anything else you wanted to talk about with John?
Well, he loved this role so much that for years, he wanted to have a spin-off movie about
just that character.
And it finally happened. I think they just finished filming this year. It's called Going Places.
Okay. That should be
good. The Coen brothers did not write off as saying it's a spin-off from them.
Okay.
Because they never wanted to do a sequel.
Okay.
Big Lebowski, there was a lot of talk of like,
Yeah.
you're going to do a sequel, and they're just like, no, we hate sequels.
Really? I guess that makes sense. I mean, hey,
so
it is what it is. It's a great movie. Don't ruin it. Let it be a classic.
Right.
Don't ruin it with...
Big Lebowski
I understand.
Part 2.
And I also have a note here. Take notice of his partner, his bowling partner, that guy he's with, okay? Mm-hmm. All he pretty much does is react off of John Turturro, and at one point, he almost loses it in that last scene with Jesus. And you could, Jesus starts doing, this little dance, and he, thrusting, actually. And you look at this guy, and he's about to lose it. And I'm sure it was hard to keep it back, working with John, because he really did a great job in that role. I'm glad that Dave put him in there. I didn't think of that. And it's definitely of note to have John up on this list. We're going to move on to the next one. And what number is this?
This is 16.
16.
And we have Joan Cusack in 9 months.
Yeah.
Which is Hugh Jackman.
Hugh.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Julianne Moore. We also have Goldblum in the movie as well. And he's really good too.
And there's a clip of this as well.
son of a whore. But she says it in a more powerful way. Dave's going to cue it up here. Oh, his phone's lagging.
I hate this phone.
But she's giving birth. And this is near the end of the movie. And she's giving birth. And of course, she's in a tremendous lot of pain. And when that happens, the mother-to-be starts yelling and screaming at the father. And she does so in this scene.
I hate you! You did this to me, you miserable piece of dick-brain horseshit, slime-sucking son of a whore bitch!
And there it was, that clip. It was a little hard to get going, but we got it in there. And priceless stuff. Son of a whore. And now, I remember you saying that sometimes. Is that where you got this?
Maybe.
I think
don't
it
know.
is, man. And I think maybe that's why you like that performance so much.
I remember laughing my ass off the first time I saw it. I was like, I never heard a woman talk like that before.
Yeah, you know, and another thing, too, is just hearing that clip. It's funny and all, but you got to watch it. I mean, she is completely strung out.
Her face alone, too,
oh, my God.
priceless.
Funny face that she's got, man.
It's a good movie. On IMDb, it has a rating of 5.5.
Does it really?
And I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I thought it was funny. I like Hugh Grant, maybe more than other people do.
Nah, he's... a lot of people like him.
But I don't know. I always thought it was a funny movie. It's got
Me
Jeff
too.
Goldblum, who I think is funny. He and Joan Cusack are brother and sister, and they have some really good moments. Robin Williams plays the doctor at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely a role of note and kind of forgotten because the movie itself doesn't get a lot of high reviews. But for us, it does. I mean, I liked it. I loved it, actually. So, yeah, Joan Cusack, number 16. And we move on to number 15 is an actress that I have really loved in everything she's done. Madeline Kahn. In Young Frankenstein, 1974, this role garnered Kahn a nomination for Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globes in 1974. It's sort of a forgotten performance, but she steals her scenes with Gene Wilder, which is not an easy task.
No.
Gene Wilder, some consider this role for Gene Wilder to be one of his best, not only that, but the best of his career. Now, her first scene with Gene is great. When they're at the train station, you know, and he's saying goodbye to her, and he wants to kiss her so bad. And she won't let him. She's such a prude, you know?
Yeah.
Don't touch the coat, darling, you know? And he just wants to kiss her. And at one point, I think they end up, like, touching elbows.
Yep.
You know?
That's how they say goodbye.
That's how they say goodbye. And she ends up hooking up with the monster. And later on in the movie, they have sex like 6 or 7 times in, like, this ditch. I don't even know where they're at. I mean, I don't even know where they're at. Like a cave?
Wasn't it like a barn or something?
Maybe it was a
like
barn.
In hay?
Maybe. That makes sense to me, but I love the fact that, you know, the monster is a monster, right? And he hears this violin playing in the distance, and he loves the violin music, so he goes to it, and she's offended by the fact that he's leaving her in this barn or wherever the fuck they are, and he heads off, and she is so totally offended that he left her. And he's like, oh yeah, just 6 or 7 quick ones and you're off with the boys. You know, don't brag about it. And she just totally is in love with the monster because he has like a big dick or something like that. Anyways, Madeline Kahn, very good actress. Blazing Saddles. I don't know if you're familiar with Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks.
Yep.
You know, Mel Brooks did this one as well. Very good movie. And I'm trying to see if there's any other notes I have about this. Did you want to touch on anything?
No, you.
Okay. Madeline Kahn. So good. So good. That was number 15. We'll move on to 14.
In that, we're going to go back to the Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
And John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Great performance. He says that he never had so much fun.
Yeah. He loved the role. He loved it. Yes.
And by the way, John Goodman's career
oh my God.
is fucking amazing.
You got to take a step back, really.
It's almost underappreciated. It seems to be like
I think
under the radar.
It is.
He's conquered sitcoms, obviously, with the hits of Roseanne.
Right.
The hit of Roseanne. And the movies he's done since mid-'80s, would you say?
Raising Arizona.
Was that mid-'80s?
I think that was his big first movie.
Yeah.
And that was very good.
And from there on, he's just done all different kinds of roles, all different kinds of movies.
At one point, he was in like a lot of Best Picture movies, like for a string. He was just, even if they were small roles, like he is not afraid to take any role. It doesn't have to be a big role, I think if he likes the project,
Right.
he dives right
He-
into
he
it.
picks very good projects. He's fantastic in everything. Very versatile.
Yeah, and
He
like
can do it all.
like you said, he had a blast making this, and it shows in the final product. Goodman's character is militant, dangerous, determined, and kind of stupid. But it works out just fine. Just the way he stands is funny. He's got his chest out, head up, and it's all business. And he's very serious about his character. And he always told, like Steve Buscemi is in the movie as well. He's always telling him to shut up. You notice that? It's like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no? He
And
just
that-
doesn't like him
That
talking.
kind of plays off the Coen brothers, how Steve Buscemi was in the Fargo.
Yeah,
and
okay.
he didn't stop talking.
Yeah, he
So
did.
in this one, he was always being told
to tell
the
to
hell
shut up. Well done. Well, I mean, The Big Lebowski is a movie you could put in and just enjoy.
It,
You know, it wouldn't hurt to.
it's a cult classic.
Yeah,
It's,
you get a little buzz
a thing.
going. Get a little buzz going. Put this movie in, no matter what your buzz is, you know, and just enjoy this movie because it's a little out there with the visuals. Okay.
Yeah,
it is.
is.
They do a great job in putting this to the screen. The Big Lebowski, and we've talked twice about it already. We won't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to the next one on our list, number 13. Who is it?
Randy Quaid
Oh,
is
baby.
Uncle Eddie in the National Lampoon's Vacation, and probably should say the Christmas Vacation too.
Right.
We could probably just kind of combine those two.
Pretty much because, yeah, there's not much separation. The character itself does not change. This is a character that stays pretty much the same. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very one-dimensional, but, you know, he does put layers to Eddie in a way, but he makes him so much fun, and he's a staple, that Eddie character. I think he makes those vacation movies. Chevy Chase is great, don't get me wrong, but
Obviously.
Eddie, Cousin Eddie. It was Cousin Eddie, not Uncle Eddie, but he's
I
an
call him
uncle to
Uncle
them.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucked up.
He's an uncle to the kids.
Cousin Eddie.
But Cousin Eddie, yeah.
My bad.
But you know, I think Cousin Eddie will go down as one of the greatest and funniest characters in modern film history.
Really?
He steals scenes, pure and simple.
All right.
And but you know, sad but true, but most of us are quite familiar with someone like this in our lives, if you think about it. That one person is just kind of a pain in the ass. You know, you kind of don't want to be around him. Like Chevy Chase, he doesn't want to be around
I know.
Eddie.
He's so like he dreads having
Ugh.
to see him.
He's like,
and
oh, I can't believe you're
finds it
standing in my
difficult
room.
to talk to him, you know, and what to talk about.
Yeah, and doesn't Beverly D'Angelo's character, the wife, like he goes to kiss her and she backs away.
Yeah, he's like, no thanks, I just don't want.
You're
whatever's
slimy.
on you, like you're kind of gross and just
You're
grimy.
just gross. You're drinking beer all the time. You smell fantastic. I just want to be away from you.
And the one note I do have about this is when his trademark, the tongue click,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, that he would in the script kind of write down where he wanted to do that. He's like,
He would
it'd be good right
okay.
here, it'd be good right there.
Interesting.
And he would do that. I like stuff like that.
that.
Yeah,
Did he do that in the first movie? He probably did.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, hey, Randy Quaid is known for other things as well. He was even nominated for an Academy Award early in his career for Midnight Express. So if you're interested to see more of Randy Quaid, he's a bit of a nut. I mean, I don't even think he's in the country.
No one knows where he is. At this
Right.
point. He's kind of lost his mind.
Yeah, he's all about the fact that the business itself, show business, is like plotting to destroy certain actors, go after their credibility. He's convinced of that.
Yeah.
He comes off quite believable at times, giving press conferences. I've watched them. Very interesting stuff to maybe to take note and maybe do your own research on. But he's pretty determined at the fact that they're out to get him. And he's not the only one. There are others as well. He also says that, you know, he acted with Heath Ledger in the cowboy movie, the gay cowboy movie.
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, very small role. And he will go on to say that he thinks the entertainment business killed him. I don't believe that.
Oh my god.
But he believes it. He does. Crazy stuff. What was that? What number was
he was number 13.
number 13? Unlucky number. But number 12,
We are gonna just shift into more weirdness.
we're gonna go ahead and just go into
Probably
weird.
He has to be the strangest person ever in Hollywood.
I would have to say yes. I think so.
If we're wrong, if there's someone that we're missing,
As far as
please post
weirdness.
something.
Yeah.
And I'm talking not just movie weird, just like naturally weird. Crispin
Right.
Glover, and Back to the Future.
Yeah, and like Dave said, he's odd. Not only in front of the camera, but off camera. He's someone to really take notice in Back to the Future, and this is why I say that. He made acting choices that were very strange at the time, even today standards. When you look at the character Marty McFly and how weird that character is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, Robert Zemeckis, the director, hired him, of course. But while he watched Crispin deliver his lines in the movie, while they're filming it, I wondered if he felt to himself, like, is this going to work? Because it's strange.
That is a good question.
But
he had to know there was something.
Maybe that's why he hired him.
I guess so. He's so weird
Okay.
that it fits into what, I don't know. I never really
Think
thought
about
about that.
Because when you watch that role, the way he delivers his lines, they're very strange.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Like, almost like he's forcing it, but that's how weird he is, maybe, at that point in his life. Maybe not so much today. Because I've seen him in interviews and he doesn't talk like that.
right.
Okay, a good example I'm going to bring up real quick here is Nicolas Cage in Peggy Sue Got Married. Very similar. You saw Cage sort of press his voice.
As well as Raising Arizona. Kind of. Not as much.
Not as much.
Not as much, but still playing a weird kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not even close, really.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about with Peggy Sue Got Married?
Yeah,
that voice he used was very strange. A very brave choice for an actor to go ahead and go to the
Yeah.
limit
And to pull it off for an entire movie.
for an entire movie and to make it work, because I'll tell you what, it was a hell of a choice to make and a brave one for a movie this big. Think about it.
I think if I were Zemeckis, and George McFly is obviously a dork, in Crispin Glover, I mean, the way he
Yeah.
says, "Hey, you,
Right.
get your damn hands off of her,"
Right.
is so strange. And he's probably like, "Yeah, man, that's a fucking dork trying to be tough, and it's
Right.
just not even working at all."
So I guess that was a great choice.
But
They went with
had
it.
he had problems working with him though. He
Oh, he
found
did.
it hard to like make him behave like a human being at times. That
Okay.
was his quote.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He struggled with getting Glover to behave, quote, like a human being.
Oh my God! Well, there you go. He did have reservations, obviously.
Yeah.
He wasn't like,
must have.
oh shit. And the funny thing is, not only were they dealing with Crispin Glover, they were dealing with Eric Stoltz. Because Eric
Early
Stoltz,
on, for a
yeah.
month or so.
oh, it was way into production, like 80% done. And they were thinking, my God, we don't like Eric Stoltz. He's bad. And then we have this Crispin guy. He's weird. So I know we're diving a little too much into Crispin, giving him a little extra time, but I think he deserves it because of his oddness.
And to explain this oddness a little more,
Okay.
Leah Thompson and him wanted to do some rehearsal, just go over some lines. So he had her come over to his apartment.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm sure that was great.
She says his apartment
Oh my God.
was completely painted black
Oh my God.
with very few furnishings except a medical table in the middle of the room.
Dude, this guy kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's weird.
That's weird.
That's weird.
What is this guy up to? That's what I'd like to
He's
know.
just he's on a different level and plane that most of us
I don't.
aren't sure of.
You know what? I'm looking forward to doing an episode on him, actually. That should be a lot of fun.
You could.
That could be a real fun episode. Crispin Glover coming at you sometime in the near future. So moving on
Moving on.
to the next on our list. Go ahead, Dave. You want to start this one off?
Number 11, we go to Darren McGavin as the old man in A Christmas Story.
The father to Ralphie. And wow, you want to talk about an underrated performance. This is up there. Am I right?
Well, I don't know if it's underrated because it's such a popular movie.
And the reason why I say it's a popular movie, I think he's almost forgotten in that movie. It's all about Ralphie and the kids
Yeah,
and
it is.
Christmas.
But
But really take notice of his performance, acting-wise.
sure. I mean, it's fantastic.
Darren McGavin, a neighborhood Playhouse alum. He went to the same school we went to. I always kind of respected that as a kid growing up. And we had a great father, a very similar father. Just a classic dad, always there for you. And the one thing I really, we think about this character and we think about, okay, Fragile, the leg lamp. That's a staple. It's a big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and he made it work. I think that's the reason why it worked out so well, because Darren McGavin really gave a truthful performance. Comedy, yes, but truthful in his reality. He loved that lamp. He held it in a respect that, right? It was
Yeah.
godly to
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Okay?
It meant a lot.
It meant a lot to him. I got it. The audience gets it. And when it breaks,
Breaks his heart.
it breaks his heart.
He's crushed.
He's absolutely
He
crushed.
buried it in the backyard.
And in the movie, they say that Ralphie actually heard the sound of
Yes.
taps being played ever so gently.
To kind of shift from Darren McGavin to just the movie.
Yeah.
Now this was filmed here in Cleveland,
Right.
right outside of Cleveland,
Yeah.
in Tremont,
Mhm.
and the house has now been restored.
Yes.
It's you can tour it. My girlfriend and I went to see it a couple years ago. It's a great tour. There's a museum across the street.
Yeah, you could buy stuff from the movie, like,
It's
you know.
really cool. I mean, the whole house obviously had to be redone from
Oh,
inside
sure.
and out.
Yeah.
So
It's an older neighborhood.
yeah,
It is. You can see that in the film. It's an older neighborhood.
it sold on eBay for $150,000.
Did it really? Wow. In that area, that's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. And before we move on from Darren McGavin, I want to go ahead and point this out. A thing in the movie that maybe people don't realize, and a very important part of it, I think, is at the very end, when Ralphie gets what he wants, okay? That's what the movie's all about, people. He wants that gun. He wants it so bad. We've
BB
all
gun.
been there.
Just a BB gun, not a real
But
gun.
you know what? Yeah. But you know what? We've all been there. We all have that present we wanted so bad. Sometimes we got it, and sometimes we didn't. But Ralphie did get it. And guess who got it for him? It wasn't Santa.
And it's funny because he told 3 adults in that movie
Yes.
what he wanted. His mom,
Yep.
his teacher, and Santa.
Yes.
He never told his dad.
Never.
And his dad is the one that got it for him.
That shows you something right there. It gives me chills. I got chills right
Yeah.
now. I got goosebumps.
And when Ralphie sees Santa, and the old man asks, he's like, "Did you tell Santa what you want?" And he's like, "Oh, what does Ralphie say?"
I think he
Did
said
say
yeah.
no.
No, he told him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he says like, "Oh, he knows. He always knows."
Yep, that's what he said. He goes,
That's why I think
he
Ralphie
knows.
said no.
He did. Remember,
Oh.
he told him, and then he kicked him down the slide. You shoot your eye out,
Yeah.
kid.
Oh, right.
yeah, he told him.
My bad.
But Darren
Bad on
McGavin,
me.
yeah, but Darren McGavin said that. He goes,
Yeah.
Santa knows. He always knows.
Yeah.
And guess what? He did. Great point you brought up. Told 3 adults, and the one he didn't tell is the one that got him the gun.
And he's so excited to see his son get it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Like, oh no, they'll spill all over.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta slow.
He holds a special place in my heart, Darren
Hell
McGavin.
yeah,
That
man.
character does big time. Love that character. Moving on. What's next?
Okay, now number 10,
Ah,
Maureen Stapleton is
Yeah.
Ma Kelly.
Ma
in
Kelly.
Johnny Dangerously 1984.
1984.
This is one of the first movies to ever be rated PG-13.
I read that.
Crazy.
To think about that, this is 84. So PG-13 was just starting to get
yeah,
going.
People are like, maybe we should put an age
Yeah,
limit on
like-
some of this stuff.
Because there's definitely things in that movie are not appropriate. It actually should be R, to be my honest opinion.
It probably
Yeah.
should.
I mean, don't they talk about dildos?
Oh yeah, she pulls out a dildo from her purse.
There's a lot of sexual references in
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie. Johnny Dangerously is a great comedy. I don't know how highly rated it is, reviewed, but I think it's a masterpiece.
Oh, we grew up on it, so maybe we're a little biased.
Maybe.
But I was like, what, 1984? I probably saw that movie at 6 years old. Five
Yeah.
years old, and
It played constantly in our
my
house.
favorite part.
Constantly.
My favorite part of the movie, and I couldn't really find a good clip of it on YouTube, is when they're celebrating outside the courtroom or something, and she brings out a bottle of whiskey or something.
Yeah.
And her son is, Tommy, he's like, "Mom, it's prohibition." And she's like, "Oh, shut up. Stop acting like a fat choir boy."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Like a fat choir boy. And that actor was played by Griffin Dunn.
Yeah.
Okay. He also went to the Playhouse. So any
that's right.
any actor or anything that's involved with the Playhouse, I like to point it out.
Gotta mention
You
it.
gotta point it out because we're kind of proud of that. So Griffin Dunn, that he plays the brother of Michael Keaton in Johnny Dangerously. And you know what line also comes up in my mind a lot is when the weather's kind of bad, when she's standing in the streets in the movie and it's snowing all over. And she looks up, she goes, "My God, it's the worst July in years." Like, it's the middle of summer, and it's like, what, 20 degrees?
I mean, this is the kind of movie it is.
Yeah.
Like, Maureen Stapleton's probably, what, 60-something years old in this movie?
God, yeah.
And she's celebrating her 30th birthday or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's
Happy birthday, Mom.
like,
How does
oh.
it feel to be 30?
She's
like-
something like, she's like, oh, I hope I make it to 34. I don't know what it's been a while. But I mean, that's the kind of movie it is fucking ridiculous.
Oh,
and she's
so
just
good.
doing laundry all the time. There's just like mounds of laundry all over the place.
What, give up my career? No, I won't do that. I'm going to iron all these shirts. There's a mound in the other room.
The whole room is full
Like,
of like dirty laundry.
Michael Keaton pulls at something, and it just comes tumbling on top of him.
Right.
I mean, just great stuff. Joe Piscopo also. Isn't he
Right.
good in this
He's
movie?
amazing in
And
that movie.
Can I bring this up? Is it true? Now, I remember you telling me this years ago, and I don't know if it's true. Joe Piscopo's son. Did you know him back in the day in New York?
But I met him.
Okay.
And he
was hitting on you, wasn't he?
kind of sort of hit on me. We were at an audition. Me and my buddy Ed went to an audition, some open call,
Okay.
which are the worst. But we
Oh,
went, and Joe Piscopo's son was there auditioning.
I forget his name. It might be Joe.
I
He might
don't
be
remember.
a junior. Okay.
And it kind of sort of made a pass at me.
That's so
It
funny,
is.
because he is gay. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, he's gay. And I remember you telling me that story. I don't know why. I just thought it was so funny. Joe
Yeah,
Piscopo's
it was-
son's like, hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, and my memory sucks. I can't remember exactly how he was.
Acting.
Yeah,
But it was clear he was,
he made some sort of comment towards me where I was just like,
uncomfortable.
wait a minute. Wait a second now.
Wait a minute, Piscopo.
And I'm like,
Step off,
"Man,
buddy."
Should I get involved here? Could I start my career?
Maybe he'll open some doors, but wait a minute. He's at this open call with me. So obviously, he's not going to do
He's
me
not
any
doing
good.
that well, I mean, I don't think
I
any of
love
us
that
got
shit.
it.
I love that shit. All right, so, okay. Moving on. Number 9 is like clear my throat.
And
All
I
right.
dropped the ashtray.
And ashtrays dropping all around us.
We're falling apart.
Oh, God, I'm surprised the table's holding up. All right, so the next number is 9. And next up is,
David Herman
Yes.
as Michael Bolton in Office Space.
very good, Michael
Probably,
Bolton.
in my opinion, top 10 comedies of all time.
Oh,
especially
yeah.
those of us who have worked in an office.
Oh, God.
Or still work in an office.
Every aspect of that movie is dead on.
It's pretty good.
As far as
good.
like the traffic going to work and getting
all-
in the bad lane.
Yep.
Right? I love the part where, I mean, they're a bunch of white guys and he's playing loud rap music. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
a black guy comes up next to him. He rolls up the window because he's afraid or something like that. He's embarrassed at the fact he's listening to rap music.
Yep.
Michael Bolton is just a great character. And I love the choice the writers made in making his
Well-
name Michael Bolton.
This is filmed by Mike Judge.
Okay.
Who is the creator of Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, he...
He made fun of Michael Bolton probably a lot. And did he? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Probably did, but dude, that's been so long since I've seen those episodes.
Oh, yeah, the one back in the day, Beavis and Butthead. Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, this movie is just fucking great, and Michael Bolton was always one of my favorite characters.
And I actually read up on him as an actor. There are a lot of people in the business, very high people in the business, that feel in some way, I don't know how, they say, I don't know how the hell this guy isn't a bigger actor.
Right.
They don't know if it's the choices he makes. Maybe he does theater.
He does a lot of voiceover work.
Okay.
I know he's on Bob's Burgers.
Okay.
He plays a teacher in that show.
All right.
He may have done some Family Guy and American Dad too. I'm not sure, but I know he's done that. But I really don't know how much other stuff he's done. Take a look real quick, I guess.
Because, quite honestly, you can see glimpses of his acting ability in this movie. A comedy can bring out great acting. I don't care. And some will tell you, not some, most will tell you that comedy acting is harder than drama to pull it off. You got to have a certain sense for comedy, timing, that sort of thing. And this Michael Bolton character shines in Office Space. I think he's the best actor in that movie. He is.
PC Low Letter. What the fuck is that?
PC low letter. The way he beat on that fucking copier when they took it out into the field and they have bats and he's kicking it, they had to like restrain him. He wanted to fucking destroy that thing.
The look on his face.
A look of determination. I mean, he just wanted to destroy it. A great, great character. And did you find out anything about it? Because we're going to have to move on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's
Yeah,
move on.
that maybe we'll go back to that later if you find something. But
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, man. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. And the next number is
8.
number 8.
The classic movie from the 90s, American Pie.
Mm-hmm.
Eugene Levy's character.
I mean, come on.
Is fucking great.
Isn't
I
it?
mean,
And,
the
yeah.
talks he has with Jason Biggs. It's familiar for those who have had a father like that, or
Yeah.
it,
It's so uncomfortable for
Yeah.
both of them, you know?
and he got a lot of he improvised a lot of his dialogue.
Yes, he did. That's
Which is
noted.
no big surprise. He worked in was that Second City?
I think
Is that what
so.
it's called? Second City in Canada there.
Yeah.
SCTV.
That's, yeah.
He worked a lot with
John
Christopher
Candy.
Guest though with those movies,
Yeah.
which is all improv. I mean, I'm not even sure there's a script, maybe 5
may
pages
not.
long for his movies.
Just a basic
because
structure.
It's just these are the characters and just go. And so he's very used to that, and the directors, I'm sure, are just like, just go.
Yeah.
It's-
And I've loved Eugene Levy ever since I saw him in Splash with Tom Hanks. Great character. I've considered that character as well.
yeah, that's a good one.
That's a
man.
good one.
That's pretty good.
He's just a fun and bushy-eyed guy. Those
Bushy-eyed.
eyebrows. I mean,
That's
I-
putting it mildly.
yeah, and I even adore his small cameo role in Chevy Chase in the first Vacation movie. Do you remember that role?
Oh, of course.
He's in the first scene, the sleazy
He
salesman.
sells him the car. I don't know what happened.
Davenport! Bring his car back here. Just bring it back. I mean, just great stuff. I love that guy. And, I don't know, like you said, improvises his lines on a regular basis. And the scenes between him and Jason, beautiful. Funny stuff. And American Pie, of course, is just great
It's a
movie.
classic.
It really opened doors for a lot of actors in that movie,
Oh yeah.
specifically Stifler. I guess he got paid like $5,000 for that movie. I mean, wow.
Are you serious?
That's nothing.
$5,000? That's
It was not even 10,000,
Holy shit.
and he exploded after that. That character is great,
yeah.
Yeah.
He was. I was considering putting him on the list too.
Stifler.
He's an honorable mention, I guess.
He really is.
Because he, in a sense, did kind of steal most of that movie.
That's good stuff. So yeah, Eugene Levy, and then we're gonna move on to the next one.
Someone else who stole the fuck out of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
At number 7, Philip Seymour Hoffman is Sandy Lyle in Along Came Polly.
2004.
Yes. This fucking guy. I mean, the character is a burnout act. He was like a child star.
Yeah.
And just is now an adult piece of shit.
Yeah.
Riding the coattails of himself as a child.
Yeah, he flamed out.
In,
Yeah,
in
he's bitter.
some of the lines, when he, the shart, I mean, that fucking blew everything up.
Dude,
Everyone was talking about sharting. I just sharted.
He's like, we have to go.
Yeah.
Why do we have to go?
So he sharted. Well, what shart?
I don't know what that means.
Well, like, I farted a little bit of shit came out.
We have to go now.
He has some great, like, when they're in that fucking elevator.
Yeah.
And he's like, God, I'm so fucking horny. I mean, what? Like, and what's the best part of this, as funny as that is that Philip Seymour Hoffman, as we all know, is a more dramatic, very serious actor.
He is, yeah.
And to see him do comedy, it
blew my mind.
Yes,
Yeah.
it blew my fucking mind.
Because he nailed it, of course. He nails everything.
It goes to show he was boundless. He had no limits. He was limitless.
Yes, his delivery of lines, you don't get much better. You just don't.
Not really, man.
His delivery is so good, and it really showed through in this movie. A supporting role in Along Came Polly. I love this movie. Great stuff. All right, so what number is next, Dave?
We have number 6.
Yes.
A classic, Caddyshack,
Yes.
and obviously Bill Murray
1980. And
playing Carl.
yeah, 1980, and he says that he was supposed to have just a small role. He was on Saturday Night Live at the time, and they said, "You want to be in Caddyshack?" He said, "Sure, but it's going to have to be a small role because I'm so busy." Well, he was so fucking hilarious, they had to expand his role. They kept calling him up, "Bill, can you come for one more day?" "All right." So he'd come in, "Bill, one more day?
You're like,
So, yeah.
well, you're too good.
We
So you have
stop
to keep
it.
coming in and doing more because we need more. of you.
Wow, Carl the groundskeeper.
It's a classic role. I mean, and he once again a lot of improv.
Oh,
when
yeah.
he did that monologue of the Cinderella story, he was given 2 lines of direction from Harold Ramis, who was the director.
Mm-hmm.
He said Ramis told him, just imagine yourself announcing your own fantasy in a sports moment.
Yeah.
You know, and Murray just basically was like, I need a row of mums,
Mm-hmm.
and he just went.
He just went with
just
it.
went with it.
Yeah, it's in the hole.
Yeah,
I mean, classic line. People say that in the golf course.
Of course they do.
Because of Bill Murray. He grew up in that atmosphere when him and his brothers were young. They worked at a golf course. So that's where this movie kind of spawned from.
His brother Brian Doyle
Yes.
Murray, I think he was a co-writer. There was a lot of writers in this. You
Yeah,
had
I
Doug
think you're
Kenny.
right. Mm-hmm.
I think Harold Ramis also
He always did.
obviously contributed
Yeah.
to the writing.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this was his experience
Yeah. And,
as a groundskeeper,
you know,
as a Caddyshack.
Bill Murray as an actor, okay, may give off a vibe of not caring on screen, but I guarantee you, he gives 100% every time. And it means something to him. It's serious shit. He doesn't fuck around. And that's why you get performances just like this. They kept calling him back. We need more of you.
You saying people don't think he takes it seriously?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people out there that don't consider him a serious actor.
Who?
And I disagree.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah. And him being nominated, I wanted him to win so bad. Having him come up to get that Oscar, would have Lost in Translation. I would. Oh God, I was praying he'd get it because I don't know if he'll be back. You know?
No, I don't.
I hope.
I don't see it as impossible because he's done so many movies, even just recently, like St. Vincent.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Was he even nominated for that?
No, but he should have been.
That's too bad.
Yeah, because he's a really wonderful actor, and you should take notice of that. Those of you who didn't listen to my Bill Murray episode, shame on you. It's one of my favorites. I don't know why. Just because of the simple fact he meant a lot to me growing up learning about acting. I always seem to go back to his performances and just appreciate his work.
Dude, everybody loves Bill Murray.
I know, but I don't think they regard him, putting him up there with Tom Cruise and Gary Oldman. And I get it.
I think there's a lot. Dude, he's so huge.
Is he elite though?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do consider him elite.
And
That's my opinion.
a strange character as well. Just a cool guy.
Oh yeah, that's where he's all over the map. He's not only one of the funniest guys, but he does all these dramatic roles too.
I love him. I do.
He's one of a kind, man. He's
I love
up there
him.
with like the Robin Williams, where he broke that boundary of comedy
Yeah.
and drama. And
Yeah.
just like I could do all of it.
It's just incredible stuff. So, okay, moving on from Bill Murray and Caddyshack, 1980, and then shooting up to 2008 in a movie called Tropic Thunder, we get a performance, and we've talked about it, and we're going to talk about it again because it
Why
deserves
not?
it. Doing my research and reading comments on this movie, I was not the only one that didn't recognize him. People that went to the theater, okay,
Oh, I'm sure.
when they saw the credits and they saw his name come up, they said, wow, that was Tom Cruise. Okay, I get it now. So I wasn't the only one. That's how good he is in this movie. He disguised himself. Do you have any notes about like the process he went through? Like changing his appearance?
Well, I mean, not a lot of it was all his idea.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He went to Ben Stiller and said all those things. He's like, I want fat hands. I want to be
Yeah.
bald. I want, overweight.
Yeah, he looked. Yeah.
He really wanted to look completely different. It was all his idea. And there is a resemblance
Yeah.
to one of the producers of the movie whose name is Stuart Kornfeld.
Yes.
If you look up this guy's picture,
It looks
there's a
like him.
resemblance.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to go ahead and encapsulate sort of him and
Yeah.
other sleazeball, producers, those big wigs in the business.
Right.
And he did a great job in sort of just giving a broad view of these guys. That's how they look. That's how they act. They're ruthless. They're sleazy.
I give him so much credit for doing it because it's so out of character.
For him, big time.
And I said this during our episode of Tom Cruise. He needs to fucking do this a
More.
lot more.
And the comments I read too, a lot of people agree with you. They say, I'm not a big fan of Tom Cruise. I'm now. That's really
Yeah,
good. He
I'm-
made me laugh.
Yeah, he needs to fucking do it already. Stop with the Mummy. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's
Wait,
good.
whoa. The Mummy?
Yeah,
Really?
they came out just last year.
Oh wow, really? I didn't know that.
It seems crazy. I do want to see it. It's very
Interesting.
The
Okay.
special effects look really cool. But I'm just so sick of like all these action. Like, do something
Yeah.
like either Magnolia or this Tropic Thunder, more
Like that.
comedic roles.
Yeah, yeah. And I also want to note that the profanity used by Cruise in this movie is off the wall, just fantastically funny.
Yeah.
The swearing he does. I love to hear him swear. He could just pull it off beautifully. And he plays the role truthfully because he knows these characters in real life. He has to deal with these people all the time. The character was created by Cruise, hair, costume, and all, even deciding to use big prosthetic hands. Hairy hands.
That's such a weird thing, man.
I mean, I don't know. I could watch it every day. His scenes he is so, like, he doesn't give a shit about Ben Stiller. Like, they're gonna kill him. They like have him in some jungle, and I forget the name of the gang that calls up on the phone. I forget the name.
Yeah, I don't
but
remember.
He's like, oh, they're giving the demands. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the money. And like, you're gonna let him die? He's like, well, what we'll do is we'll set up like some kind of trust fund, or we'll do like, I mean, he's ruthless, and it all works out very well. Tom Cruise, Tropic Thunder, 2008, and we're gonna move on to another movie by.
It's another role by Bill Murray.
Yeah, again,
in Tootsie.
And I was kind of on the fence on which one is better, the Tootsie Roll or the Caddyshack one.
Tootsie Roll.
I really believe that Tootsie. Did I say Tootsie Roll?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God, we're gonna leave
it's
that in
fitting, but
Not only a great movie.
That's.
But, wow.
I mean, I would have to say Caddyshack's better.
Would you put that
Yeah.
bet? Okay.
But Bill Murray in Tootsie is fucking great.
It's a different kind of role for him
They didn't want
at that
him.
time.
They didn't want him.
Oh, they really?
Nope. They
Okay.
were like, he's Bill Murray. They're like, he didn't really kind of fit in.
Okay.
Well,
this is right before he did. I'm sorry. This is right after. Wait, I said this was right before he did Ghostbusters, and after he portrayed Carl in Caddyshack.
Yeah.
So this is right after
Yeah.
Caddyshack. He plays it light and fun. Bill is an actor and a damn good one. This is a role that proves it for me when I see him do this character in Tootsie. He played Dustin Hoffman's roommate. They're actors, writers, that sort of thing. And the necktie scene that this writer, Bill Murray, it was a big deal in the movie. Like, should he wear the necktie or shouldn't he wear the necktie? And then him playing off of Dustin Hoffman, just in the simple fact that Dustin Hoffman is dressing up like a woman. And he wakes him up in the morning, and Bill Murray's just like,
yes.
Mom? Because he looks like an old lady.
Yeah.
And an ugly one. Dustin Hoffman as a woman is
that's
pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So you get a lot of different little things also. Like in the beginning of the movie, there's a party going on for Dustin Hoffman's birthday.
It's the best.
Right? And he's sitting around. And the first time you see him, there are a bunch of people around. And they're just talking about theater.
Listening
right?
to every word he has to say.
Yeah, because he's the only one talking. Like no one else is talking.
It was all improvised, I believe.
He's just babbling on about the fact that he would just love to own a theater. And the only time it's open is when it rains. And people are just like, oh yeah, interesting. And then talking about the Native American. He did a play about it. Nobody cared. Nobody showed up. He's just babbling on and on.
The best line I have here is like, I don't like it when people come up to me after a play and say, I really dug your message, man. Or, I really dug your play, man. I cried.
I cried.
I like it when people come up to me the next day or a week later and they say, I saw your play. What happened?
What happened?
Those of us who are like actors and have been in that scene of other actors and directors, like that, you know that person. You know that person.
Oh yeah. They're out there.
And Bill Murray was that guy.
He was that guy.
Just like, what happened?
He goes, in the end of the movie, he goes, that is one nutty hospital.
Yeah.
And it was. And also, there are some great scenes. They're just popping into my head. Dustin Hoffman, as a woman, is being hit on by the other actor, and he actually gets Dustin Hoffman in his room. And I'm talking about Dustin Hoffman's apartment. And he starts singing to her and everything. And that's why he let him in. And he is hitting on her, getting on top of her. And Bill Murray walks in and sees the scene and doesn't say anything. and lets the guy leave, and he just slowly looks over at Dustin Hoffman. He goes, "You slut." And it's so perfect.
And that was improvised.
That was improvised?
Yep.
The way he just, and he takes a moment. Like, he doesn't say it right away. He
Yeah.
just looks at him. You slut. I mean, it's just perfect timing. Timing. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about. And that's why we're hiding the comedies first. It's light and fun, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Bill Murray, what number was that?
That was 4. We're moving
Wow.
on to 3.
We're going top 3.
With another really great actor, James
Oh.
Spader in Pretty in Pink.
Don't get me started on this actor. Damn. And The Blacklist. I got to get back to watching that. Because,
I lost touch myself.
yeah, I watched the first 6, maybe 7 episodes, and I liked it. But sometimes this happens with me. I'll watch a show,
Yeah,
something
I
comes
get
up,
it.
you get
It
distracted.
happens.
I got to get back to it. How far did you get into it?
We got into the 2nd season, so we're
Did you really?
way behind.
Okay. But
It got way too confusing. That was the thing. We're
Okay.
just like, what the fuck is going on? We're
Yeah.
both like maybe too dumb to figure it out. But
sometimes those shows do that.
he's
They lose you.
so good. But
Getting
Pretty in Pink,
Yeah.
to get back to this role, he almost didn't get it.
Okay, I didn't know
Because
that.
in his audition,
Okay.
he was in character the whole time.
Yeah, I read that.
He was a fucking cocksucking asshole.
Yes. He walked in like that.
Yeah, and the director,
Yeah, what was the director's name? I thought I wrote that down. I don't think I did.
I didn't either.
But that's okay.
That's
okay.
fine, but he
Yeah.
almost didn't give it to him because he's like, this guy's a fucking prick.
He was uneasy with the fact he didn't like him. That was it.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, this guy's good. I mean, the character, he nailed it, but I just have a weird feeling about him. He came in as the character. He walked out as the character.
he's-
In an audition, that's frowned upon. They want to see you too. They just don't want to see the character. So I think that's why the casting process, in that sense, was a little hesitant about, oh, this guy, I may not want to work with
Yeah,
him.
it's like he had a cigarette going,
Yeah.
and as he left, he fucking put it on the floor and stepped out.
Right, that's the story.
And
Now, Hughes wrote it.
of course,
Now,
John
did he
Hughes-
direct it? Maybe
don't
not.
know.
I don't think he directed it, but I think he had a say in the casting process. I think,
Of course.
And now it is said that an interview was given by Molly Ringwald, and I found it. She talks about James Spader, and she has the biggest smile on her face talking about James Spader. She goes, "Yes, he was a prick in the movie, but only in his character. Away from that, he's the sweetest man you'll ever know. He's that good of an actor." And he had given performances in the past where he plays a dick, and he said, "I'm just really good at it. I get the
Yeah.
character. That's
and-
just me."
And that brings me to John Cryer, who played Ducky.
Yeah.
Who most people would think he was the scene stealer and all that.
Yeah.
And he was.
He was.
Great. John
Yeah.
Cryer is great.
He's different, yeah.
In his memoir that just came out in 2015 called So That Happened, he talks about Spader. and
Okay.
How they were good friends.
Okay.
You know, they would hang out in Spader's trailer a lot. And
Oh, during the movie?
Spader admitted he's just like, he just figured out he's got a lock on how to be an asshole.
Yeah.
He knew how to do it.
A kind of a forgotten performance too, because as though Pretty in Pink is a pretty popular movie in the 80s, and maybe still today, it's a classic, I would consider.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, there's a lot of people who love that movie.
Yeah,
Even today, they're just big fans.
And I have to give credit to Doug White, my buddy. I studied acting with him. We roomed together in New York City, and he pointed out this performance to me, and I took notice, and I'm like, it is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The way he carries himself, it's so truthful, it's grounded, and just his little snide comments. And I think Cryer mentioned that the scene where they fought in the hallway in school, they really got into it. And James Spader got up, and Cryer was just blown away at the fact that he spit on the ground. After he got done with the fight, he spit in the hallway and realized just how good and how free and improv he was. I'm sure that was just all James Spader.
Of course.
Into his character, and just blew John Cryer away with just that moment. And there are other great moments that he gives. Check it out. I know you've probably seen it and agree with us, right?
I would
Great
think
stuff.
so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
James Spader, number 3, and we're moving up to the top 2 and top.
Another John Hughes.
John Hughes will continue on. Go ahead, Dave.
In 1985, The Breakfast Club, Judd Nelson.
Classic film, Judd Nelson. What a character. I mean,
He stayed in character off camera.
he went method.
Really angered a lot of people, and especially Molly Ringwald.
Yes, and John Hughes. He will not
Yeah.
work with him again.
No.
Nope.
That will not happen.
And I also want, from a personal note here,
Of course, John Hughes has passed away. So
when I lived in New York City, I worked at a restaurant called, God, what the hell was that restaurant? Houston's. Houston's restaurant was downtown Manhattan, and one of the servers, actually, I think he was a manager. He was good friends with Judd Nelson. He would be around, and I can attest to it. He was not very nice. Let's put it plainly.
Really?
Yeah, he was a dick. I don't know. At the time, I'm thinking to myself, maybe he's just going through some shit. But no, he's just not. He talked to his friend, and that was it. Everybody else, he was just snide. I'm bigger than you. That was this thing I got from it. The whole
Wow.
thing. Just a very unpleasant guy. And I guess on the set, it was probably hard to work with him. Obviously, John Hughes doesn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
And what Molly Ringwald was kind of turned off by him.
Yeah, well, he fucking bullied her.
That's right.
Not
Staying
only
in character.
in scenes, but I mean,
Yeah.
off camera, it was difficult for him to
Yeah.
just hold back and just fucking kept ripping on her then.
But
Fucked up.
Yeah, we're kind of talking about how much of a dick he is, but it doesn't take away from his performance.
His performance is great.
Dead on, because he kind of is a dick, so I guess it plays out pretty well. And he was, trying to think here if he's got, he was hard to work with, I got that. He went method.
And so much to the point where he actually went to a high school outside of Chicago where they were filming.
Yeah, I have that. He
And-
went undercover. in a
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
And was buying teenagers beer and shit, and he'd say, all right, I think he was, staying at the hotel somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why is living in a hotel?
Yeah.
And he had made up the story. He's like, oh, my dad's in jail.
Right.
It's like,
Wow.
this is how far he went.
Yeah, 'cause
so
I think-
it's not like only Molly Ringwald he was fucking with, but
He
that's
was
just
fucking with everybody.
He actually went to a laundromat in character
Okay.
and had the cops called on him because he was giving dirty stares to women.
God. Creepy dude.
That's fucked up. And
Yeah.
it's like he had no career really after that. He did St. Elmo's Fire and then what?
He did do a television show for a while. He was a character on a show. I don't remember which one. But, I mean, I just smile upon this performance, and that's pretty much about it with him. Because I didn't
Right.
like him in St. Elmo's Fire.
No,
I didn't.
me neither, man. He was okay.
He was okay. But in this one, Breakfast Club, he really did, personify that character. We knew guys like that, those burnouts, kind of creepy, scary guys. They were around in the 80s, and he did a great job of portraying that.
Absolutely.
Fucking perfect. Judd Nelson, number 2. So we get to the top 1, people. Number 1.
How about a nice, greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray?
And that was a clip from, of course, Weird Science. And who is it, Dave?
Bill Paxton.
Mr. Bill Paxton.
The late, great.
Oh, yeah, we
Bill
just
Paxton.
talked about that, how sad it is. Passing too soon, and he was just a great actor. And I know every single line of dialogue that he gives in this movie. And I think
For a
Dave
good
does
reason.
as well.
Yeah.
We would recite his lines, and we just did a little while ago. Just having fun,
We-
just talking about his lines.
We grew up on this movie.
Yeah.
And you're talking about nailing a performance.
Oh, yeah, he did.
This is nailing a performance.
I mean, Bill Paxton's performance in Weird Science 1986 was, mind you, brilliant. And that's why it's number 1 on our list of supporting actors. And I've seen this movie many times, primarily when I was a kid, but I will pop it in from time to time. John Hughes, and we point this out right now, the top 3 in our list are all associated with John Hughes. And it's just a fun movie to watch. And Bill Paxton had a big deal to do with that simple fact. It's just fun. And he's fun. Now, his character itself is kind of serious to him, but he fucks with his brother, Wyatt.
Relentless.
Oh, relentless. He's such a dick.
Brutally.
Brutally. I mean, and I guess that clip we played, that when he says, "How about a nice greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray?" That's something his dad would say to him, right?
Right, when he was hungover.
Yeah,
So,
that's what his dad said.
and a lot of his lines were, once again, improvised.
Improvised.
From just experience he had back in high school. I mean, he took it back to, I think a lot of it was an experience that he had when he was like he was a counselor at a campground.
Okay.
Or something like that, like a summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall, he did an interview with Mark Maron, and he talked about that.
Okay.
Once again, talk about Mark Maron and his awesome podcast.
And what's that called? His podcast?
The What the Fuck podcast.
What the
WTF.
Fuck? Yeah, that's a big podcast. Very
he
successful.
gives great interviews, and what's sad is, I listened to that interview he had with Bill Paxton, and I'm not kidding. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, he had passed away.
Wow.
It was that. And Mark
Wow.
was, Maron was like, he was right here.
He was just here.
He was healthy as could be.
Wow, what did he die of? I don't even remember.
And I'm my bad.
I don't remember.
It was very sudden. It was
maybe a heart thing. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But he passed away
probably
too
should have
soon.
looked it up. But
yeah, but that's okay.
It's just sad. He was so talented. He
Yeah.
did so many movies. A lot of movies that we're going to touch upon in the drama episodes.
He pops up. Like
he did a lot of good work.
he really did a lot of great work, and this comedic role he did in Weird Science is something that I can look back on, and I think of fond memories watching him act with Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
And the movie itself is silly. I mean, I get it. It's a silly boy movie. You got a young Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. I guess they just had a blast on set. Even Kelly LeBrock wasn't really thrilled with the fact that the younger actors were kind of being dicks on set, but they were having a good time, and obviously they did. They had a blast on this picture. It showed. It's a gem of a film, and Bill Paxton, #1.
Obviously --
As,
for us.
I mean, just a great job.
I mean, and what I just want to say,
Chet.
it's tough to, this is just our opinion of some of these movies. Obviously, they're very dated. We grew up in the 80s and 90s, so a lot of these films are from that period.
Of course.
So what's great is if some of the people who are listening, if they can chime in and be like, hey, you missed this, because we probably did.
Oh, yeah, and there was some on our list we didn't have.
Yeah, we have some honorable mentions.
Yeah, if you want to point out a few, go for it, man.
I have Kathleen Freeman.
Okay. I don't know that name.
Me neither.
What
But
role?
she was in the Dragnet when Dan Aykroyd is asking questions.
Oh, Dragnet.
Yeah, Dragnet.
Oh, the old lady?
The old lady.
Oh,
the miserable bag of puke.
We watched that a few weeks ago. I kept
Are
playing
you
it.
kidding?
I kept playing that scene over and over. Amy's like, fucking brilliant. Play it again. It's so good.
And it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I was today, I was like, oh, I remember that character. I remember that role.
Yeah.
And when we first saw that as kids, I remember as a family we're watching that, and it's not. This didn't happen a whole lot when we would watch movies, but we would rewind the VCR because we're fucking old.
Yeah, the VCR.
We rewinded that scene I don't know how many times because the whole family was losing it.
Yeah, we were just loving it.
You miserable bag of puke.
The profanity
I have a
is...
heart, you goddammit. I mean, that part was so good. I had to bring it in.
That was that's a cameo, but brilliant. Good
small
stuff.
role.
Wow. Good job.
I also have I had to put Will Ferrell in both The Wedding Crashers and Zoolander.
Oh yeah, The Wedding Crashers is the best.
Meatloaf, come on.
Yeah, what's a
Meatloaf?
Meatloaf?
We want it. I had to bring that to the table.
I'm living the dream, man.
I know, he's such a piece of shit.
Hitting on ladies at a funeral.
Oh God,
that's pretty low.
Yeah.
What a great performance of him, though, in that one. Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Great point, Dave. What else you got?
Oh, this is a good one. This takes us back. Ruth Gordman.
Okay.
Who I didn't know either, but I had to look up her name, who is the mother in Every Which Way But Loose.
Oh, yeah, the old lady. Another old lady.
Fucking phenomenal.
She was so angry.
Swore like... There's something for me
like a sailor
about old people swearing, especially old women.
So funny.
That I think is the funniest thing in the world, and she is hilarious.
Every Which Way But Loose. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know if it's a good film. I think it's decent.
It's decent, but funny.
But she is definitely worth watching the film. You can't wait to see her again.
Yeah, it's a Clint Eastwood film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have Leslie Mann in The Change Up, which I love.
Okay, see, I've never the Change Up. Is
With
that with Bateman?
Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to see it.
Kidding me?
Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
Another old person, Burgess Meredith in
Yeah.
Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We touched upon that.
We could have very easily put him in the top 20. I think.
Easily.
Yeah.
We probably could have shuffled somebody out of there, but
Yeah. Good work.
Steve Carell and Anchorman.
Yeah. Right. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. That scene he has where he's fucking with his voice while he's giving that telecast. And
No, that's
oh, is that Bruce Almighty?
Yes.
Okay. So which one did you put for Carell?
Anchorman.
Anchorman. Oh, okay.
Will Ferrell.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Which one's
Plays
better?
Rick.
Which one's better? I would say Rick.
That scene alone, though,
is
in,
good.
in Bruce Almighty,
Yeah.
is fucking epic.
But Anchorman, he's such a dumbass. It
Yeah.
works so well.
I love Lamp.
I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
It was so random shit.
Great character.
And then I also have Tim Meadows in Mean Girls.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie, and I think Tim Meadows is very underrated.
Yeah, my kids love that movie. Yeah, Madeline
Oh, I
loves
love
it.
that movie.
Yeah.
It's great.
Wow. So there you go. There's some honorable mentions about the best supporting roles that we think we've ever seen. They grab us. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Actors Room. We're going to wrap it up because we are over an hour. So
Over an hour?
We're over an hour. So we're
Okay.
going to wrap it up and go ahead and put a part 1 and part 2 to this. The next one's going to be dramatic roles. So we're going to touch on the top 20 in the dramatic roles of supporting actors and actresses. Okay, everybody, I hope you had a great day today. Go ahead and put in that movie, but before you do that, you have to do something very important. You have to fucking go on iTunes, people. I know there are people listening. Go on iTunes, take, a minute. Write a comment. Give a review, 5-star review. It helps out the show, people. I know this. When I put in actors in iTunes, my show comes up, and that's great. But it needs to be higher on the list. And by doing that, by giving reviews, it will bump itself up. So when people search for something, my show comes up higher on the list. And the chances of this show being listened to goes up dramatically. So please, I am just begging you to go on iTunes and do that. Visit the website, theactorsroom.libsyn.com. Go on Instagram. I'm on Facebook and Twitter. Whew. There it is. Episode number 45 in the books. Thank you, Dave, for all the research in the first half. Awesome stuff. And we are back next week with part 2. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Put in that movie tonight, one that makes you feel good. Thank you. Have a great night.